Hi, this is Bob Barnes for Natural Video. Welcome to Sri Lanka, in our video of a whirlwind tour of the southern part of the island. Every trip to Sri Lanka starts in Colombo, the bustling capital city. It's a community of color, flavored by several religions and a multi-ethnic population. Within the city, you can find several of the common birds of Sri Lanka, like this house crow. The house crow is found throughout the Indian subcontinent and Sri Lanka. It's typically found where humans have chosen to live. This bird was found at the temple in the lake in downtown Colombo. There are several races of house crow. It's also known as the gray-necked crow. We also found Indian pond heron and little egret at the temple. The Indian pond heron is found throughout the Indian subcontinent and throughout Sri Lanka except for the mountains. Except for the mountainous interior, the little egret is found throughout Sri Lanka. It's also found throughout much of Eurasia. Indian pond heron are generally found alone during the day, although they roost and nest in colonies. Leaving the city, we headed for a short stay in the mountains of Kandy. Along the way, we stopped at a logging operation which uses Indian elephants. Later in our trip, we would see the wild subspecies found only in Sri Lanka. Early in the morning, I watch common myna and white-throated kingfishers from my balcony. The common myna has been introduced in many areas of the world. Here, it's a natural resident. It's often found in loose flocks and roosts in colonies. It's seldomly found in dense forests. The white-throated kingfisher is also known as the white-breasted kingfisher. It's found from Turkey, through India and Sri Lanka to Southeast Asia and the Philippines. This is the subspecies fusca. There are 3 other subspecies in its range. Its range is spreading, and in some cases, it's displacing other kingfisher species. The white-throated kingfisher is a carnivore, eating everything from small snakes and frogs to insects. It will perch for long periods before diving down to capture its prey. This subspecies of black-hooded oriole is a Sri Lankan endemic. The black-hooded oriole is commonly found in forests and gardens, and except for northeast India, it's found in most of the subcontinent and Sri Lanka. The gray wagtail is found in Sri Lanka and most of the Indian subcontinent. It's also found in much of Europe, Asia, and Africa. It feeds on insects, which it gathers on the ground. As you can see here, its name is descriptive. We saw a few lizards on our trip. This was one of the smallest. Leaving Kandy, we headed back through Colombo to travel along the southwest coast. This is an area known for its pole fishermen. In the paddies along the shore, we found a number of species feeding in the shallow water. This Asian openbill, which is the smallest stork found in Sri Lanka, is also found throughout India and Southeast Asia. Young birds do not have the gap in their bill which gives this species its name. It feeds on small mollusks in habitat like this. In some areas, it's called the openbill stork. Little egrets fed side by side with the openbills, as did black-winged stilts. The birds here are of the nominate race. Black-winged stilts are found in most of the southern hemisphere and north into Canada. They feed on mudflats and in water up to their belly. The nominate race is also found in Africa, India, and southern Eurasia. The white-breasted water hen is usually found in thick cover near fresh water. Its range extends throughout India and Southeast Asia to the Philippines. As you see, it flicks its tail, which is a typical behavior of this species. The fields, even those along busy highways, were often full of birds. Open bills, egrets, and Indian pond herons were common. In the paddies we also found marsh sandpiper and spotted redshank. The marsh sandpiper breeds in Central Eurasia and spends the non-breeding period in Africa, Australia, Southeast Asia, and the Indian subcontinent, including Sri Lanka. The marsh sandpiper prefers this type of habitat and generally feeds from the water's surface. There are no described races of marsh sandpiper. Spotted redshank, also known as dusky redshank in some sources, breeds in northern Eurasia and spends its non-breeding period in the coastal areas of the south. It prefers freshwater lake shores and lagoons. There are 5 described races of the little green bee-eater. This is the dominant race, which is found in India and Sri Lanka. The blue-tailed bee-eater is found in Sri Lanka, India, through Southeast Asia to New Guinea and the Philippines. Some authorities lump this species into the Meropsis supercilius, which also includes Madagascar bee-eater. Bee-eaters are generally found in open areas near water. They often perch as seen here and hawk for insects. From here, we headed eastward to the area near Yala National Park, which is in the so-called dry zone of Sri Lanka. We birded the tanks, as they call reservoirs here, before heading into the park. At the first tank we found this little cormorant. In addition to Sri Lanka, it's also found in India and Southeast Asia. It's a colonial nester and is often found near any larger area of water in the dry zone. In the shrubs near the tank we found this greater cockle. It's also called the common cockle by some authorities. It's also found in India and Southeast Asia through to the Philippines. It typically feeds on the ground where it finds insects. In the trees along the edge of the tank, we found a roost of flying fox, their leathery wings wrapped around them, although some were a bit more relaxed. Red-wattled lapwing were on the mud flats along the edge of the tank. They're found from the Middle East through Southeast Asia. They're generally more active at dawn and dusk, resting through the middle of the day. Nearby, Indian pond herons and openbills made ample use of the feeding opportunity. This Indian pond heron stood on a pile of dirt beside the road and searched for worms. This was also a very public-placed bird, with people walking along the road and occasional scooters. White-breasted kingfishers were in the trees near the flying foxes, and white-breasted water hens were along the edge of the tank. Across the road from the tank, there is a troop of black-faced langur. It's also known as the Hanuman langur, the common langur, and the gray langur. Take your pick. This species is found in Sri Lanka through India into northern Pakistan, Bhutan, Nepal, and Bangladesh. It subsists on fruit, shoots, flowers, and leaves. In Hindu areas, this species is considered the monkey god, Hanuman. The stork-billed kingfisher is found in Sri Lanka and India, eastward to Indonesia and the Philippines. This is the dominant race, which is found in Sri Lanka and India. There are 14 other subspecies. The stork-billed eats both fresh and saltwater fish, crabs, lizards, rodents, anything small. They're generally solitary and can be hard to find because they remain still for long periods. In a section of the tank covered with lily pads, we found a number of pheasant-tailed jacanas. They are found in Sri Lanka and the Indian subcontinent, eastward through South Asia to the Philippines. It is also called the water pheasant. It's the only jacana to change plumage, gaining the long tail during breeding. During one breeding season, a female may breed with 9 or more males, leaving each to care for a clutch of eggs. There are no known races. The common moorhen is a cosmopolitan species found in Asia, Europe, and the Americas. The rose-ringed parakeet is found from northeastern Africa through to South Asia. We found this bird just before a downpour sent it scurrying for the van. The farmers create loud noises to chase the birds away from their fields. The next morning we were off to Yala National Park for our tour in an open Land Rover. You have to hire both a guide and a driver for the park. We saw a number of animals in the park, including these wild boar and spotted deer. The spotted deer is found throughout the subcontinent south of the Himalayas. Nearby we found a pair of orange-breasted green pigeons perched beside the road. This species is found in Sri Lanka and in parts of India, Bangladesh, Bhutan, and Nepal. This is an endemic race. It's more common in the dry zone than in the wet. Just a few feet away we found a Sri Lanka jungle fowl and another little green bee eater. The Sri Lanka jungle fowl is an endemic species with a range which has been more or less reduced to the parks. After a bit we stopped before a flooded section of road to watch changeable hawk eagle. Note the white ends on its crest feathers. This is an endemic race, Selenius. It's also known as the Ceylon hawk eagle or crested hawk eagle. Other races are found in India eastward to the Philippines. Another Land Rover came around us and headed down the road. Both are covered back. We had one with an open back, which I thought was much better and offered better viewing. But be sure to wear a hat and sunscreen. In the open area just beyond this water obstacle, we found woolly-necked storks. They are also known as Indian white-necked storks and are found in Africa, India, and Southeast Asia. They typically feed in open grass areas like this, generally in small groups. They don't appear to like water, and they roost in trees. While watching the storks, I noticed a lesser sandplover beside the truck. I first saw this species as a rare bird in Oregon, where it's known as the Mongolian plover. Behind us I found a gray heron, a widespread species found in Europe, Africa, including Madagascar, and Asia. Its range is generally restricted to the dry zone in Sri Lanka. A special treat was finding Indian peafowl, a bird which is wild here. Finding bright peacocks in the trees along the road lent an incredibly exotic feel to the place. It's also found in India. An Asian coal made a brief appearance, and then it was back to peacocks. We found several lakes which were alive with birds, including Eurasian spoonbill and painted stork. The Eurasian spoonbill is found in Europe, Asia, and Africa. It's a filter feeder like the other spoonbills. We had better views of the painted stork later. Purple and gray herons were nearby. The purple heron is found throughout India and most of Sri Lanka, being absent only from the mountainous interior. Its range extends to southern Europe, Africa, and South Asia. The purple heron likes this type of marshy habitat, although it typically prefers more cover than you see here. We found a number of little grebes feeding on the lakes. It has an extensive range, being found in Asia, Australia, Africa, and Europe. It's the smallest freshwater bird in Sri Lanka. This marshy area was a great place to compare intermediate and great egret, which were often side by side. Note the shorter bill and very black legs of the intermediate egret. The black-necked stork is found only in a small area of Sri Lanka, where its numbers are low. Otherwise, its range is widespread, being found from Australia westward to India. A huge monolith serves as a dramatic backdrop for painted stork, which is also found in India, China, and Southeast Asia. The intermediate egret prefers this type of marshy habitat, so it's generally found throughout Sri Lanka except the interior. Its range extends from Africa through to Australia. Bird life was prolific. The spot where we found little egret, painted stork, and Eurasian spoonbill in one small area was not unusual. Crocodiles could be found in the pools or sunning themselves on the banks. We didn't see the huge ones like we had seen in Queensland, but they were big enough. We eventually left this area, heading for a drier section of the oak forest. Here we found brown shrike, which is a common winter bird in open areas like this. It's found in much of southern and eastern Asia, through to the Philippines and Japan. The Brahminy starling is a dramatic-looking bird, which is often found on the ground. Its range extends northward to Afghanistan. In Sri Lanka, it's typically a winter visitor, found in habitat like this. Nearby we found one of the most common birds in Sri Lanka. A spotted dove is found throughout the country, as well as South and Southeast Asia and Australia. This is an endemic subspecies. Spotted deer and Indian peafowl were along the road, sometimes incredibly casual. The Eurasian hoopoe was a special treat. This bird, the only one of the species we saw on this trip, fed a few feet away for a long time. Its range extends through much of Europe, Africa, and Asia. As seen here, the Eurasian hoopoe typically feeds on the ground, where it hunts for small animals. It often finds insects by rummaging in the leaf litter. Water buffalo were in some of the deeper ponds and generally wandering about. It's an introduced species and is typically found in the national parks. Otherwise, the species is found from central India northward to the Himalaya. A Richard's pipit was feeding on the ground near one of the ponds. Note its extremely long rear toe. It typically hunts for insects on the ground. It's also found in Asia and Sumatra. We had a brief but exciting look at Indian roller. Its range extends from Saudi Arabia through to Southeast Asia. A Pomodoro green pigeon was in one of the taller trees. This bird is of the nominate subspecies. It's also found in South and Southeast Asia. This species typically feeds on fruit, remaining fairly high in trees. Unlike this bird, They are often found in small flocks. Monitors were on the ground and in the trees. Some were 3 or more feet long. Red-wattled and yellow-wattled lapwings fed on the ground below, sometimes next to each other. The yellow-wattled lapwing is found in most of India, but only in the dry zone of Sri Lanka. White-bellied fish eagle was the largest bird of this type which we saw on this trip. It's also known as the white-bellied sea eagle. Its range is widespread, being found in Australia, China, the Philippines, India, and Sri Lanka. The range of the ruddy mongoose is limited to central and southern India and Sri Lanka. It hunts a variety of small creatures. The black-backed robin is also called the Indian robin, and this particular subspecies, which is endemic, is sometimes called the Ceylon black robin. The range of this species extends northward to India and Pakistan. A white patch on the side is often hidden, as it is here. Heading down to the sea, we found a flock of large-billed crows. This was one of the few spots where we were allowed to get out the Land Rover. The large-billed crow is found in most of southern and eastern Asia, with a range which extends to Japan and the Philippines. Leaving the coast, we head back inland along partially flooded roads. By a large impoundment, we found this beautiful little green bee-eater, several crocodile, and a black-crowned night heron. The black-crowned night heron is a widespread species, being found in much of the tropical and temperate zone. It is the only heron in Sri Lanka with a black cap. They are usually found near water, and although nocturnal, are often active during the day. The lesser whistling duck is found throughout Sri Lanka as well as India and Southeast Asia. It's often active at night and is frequently found near rice paddies. The lesser whistling duck is a strong diver and swimmer and often perches in trees. In the trees near the lagoon, we also found blue-tailed bee-eater, common kingfisher, and spotted dove. The common kingfisher is found in Europe and North Africa through to the Philippines and New Guinea. Although it's found throughout Sri Lanka, it tends to avoid thick forests. Although it sometimes hovers, it usually hunts by plunging from a perch, which is often over water. Small hawks and waders were also in the area, but we were soon off in search of other adventures. Along the way we encountered a Bonnet Macaque. This is the only macaque with a tail longer than its body. It is also found in South India. It's diurnal, and as you see here, often found in trees. Even in trees, however, it tends to walk and run on all fours. It's an omnivore, eating a variety of insects, grubs, and vegetable matter. On the ground, Indian peacocks fed. Seeing them wild, with macaques overhead, was truly exciting. In the grass, black-headed Muno were feeding. They also like to feed in rice paddies. This species is found throughout Sri Lanka and India, and as far east as the Philippines and Java. The sambar is found as far north as Bangladesh and Nepal. Its diet consists of fruit, grass, and leaves. The pied kingfisher is found throughout Sri Lanka except the highlands. It's also found from Africa to South Asia. It's the only black and white kingfisher in Sri Lanka. Black-headed ibis is a common bird in India, China, and Japan. Here we found it in a marshy area with the pied kingfisher. Unlike the common kingfisher we saw earlier, the pied kingfisher likes to hover above a body of water and plunge downward to catch its prey. We backed away from the marsh and were on our way out. We found the cosmopolitan barn swallow as we left the park. This subspecies is known as the East Asian swallow.